Yo, what's up guys? Philip here. I'm gonna be talking about osr2mp4 today, which is a tool that uyitroa here created to help people record replays quicker without having to have the client open. So I got him on for a little interview and for a little chat, and we're just gonna talk about how he developed it, what went through his mind, and what he thinks about the tool today. So, hi uyitroa, how are you doing, dude?
Poggers. Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine.
So I just wanted to check. So when did you actually start playing Gosu? How long ago was that?
I started 3 years ago. Back
Mm-hmm.
then, I discovered the game thanks to a friend. And since I'm a huge anime fan, I got hooked right away, and I've been farming PP since.
Since you've been playing for about 3 years now, what do you think of the game? Like, do you have what would you like to see changed in the game if you were to change anything?
Peppy needs to buff alt map because I'm not getting PP. I need PP.
Okay, that's a zoomer moment right there. So I'll start off with the questions. So you developed osr2mp4. So how did you even think about that idea? Because there was a thread on Reddit a few years ago where I think Pepe said that it's not possible to do. So how did you get around, thinking about today I'm gonna develop a system to record replays? Like how did that happen?
Yeah, yeah, big brain moment. So back then, just like any other players, I wanted to flex my plays to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is my PC just decides to lag whenever I try to record. So I searched for a program to convert replay files to videos, but I couldn't find any. Actually, I found some sites that records for you, but it was down. And the problem with those sites is it can only record one replay at a time. So sometimes you have to wait, and you can't change the gameplay settings or skins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was during holidays or something. I wanted to do something to create something to work on a project.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I didn't want to waste my free time basically. So I just decided to do this thing.
And how long ago was that? Like, when did you get the idea to do that?
I think it was a year ago or something. Yeah, it was a year ago.
And I think the thing that you're referring to was the replay thing where it would record your play and then upload it to YouTube. I think that's the one, yeah?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, so I never really used that, but I know some people who did use it, so I do know how that can be annoying to figure out. Now I just
Yeah.
so you got the idea after you found a problem and you wanted to create a solution, and you found it like a year ago. So how long did it take you to start and then to have a released product that you think is gonna work? Well, even if it just barely works, it should be good enough, right, for a concept.
But what was the question again?
So my question was, how long did it take you to create something that worked, that you were proud of, so if we can say that?
I started a year ago, so it took a year to make it work. Yeah. I'm not sure about the question actually.
I see. So it took you a year to develop it, yeah?
Yeah, because the problem is that my free time, I can only work on this during holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So the progress was very slow.
I see.
And yeah.
And so what was your approach to making a program like this? How did you think about it? What I'm trying to say is, how did you think about solving the issue? How were you gonna code it, and how you gonna have it work? Like, how did you think about that in the beginning?
Yeah, the problem was getting started, I guess, because I self-taught programming, so my knowledge was very poor. So it was pretty hard to start, and since there weren't many similar open source program to base on, so I had to do a lot of research and to learn a lot of things. So at first, started to to learn how to create a video using programming, and then I learned how to draw an image, so that I can write it to the video. And then I started to try to animate stuff. So I started with the cursor first. So so the very first prototype was just the cursor moving around without any circles. And then I started to try to read the OSU files, and then I started to try and draw circles and stuff in the right position and add approach circles. And yeah, there were a lot of problems, but it's very time consuming because recreating also isn't very easy since it's not open source. And back then I didn't even know that OSU Laser was open source, so I had to do a lot of tests and experiments, like going to the editor and then change each settings and check what does it change and stuff. So it was really time consuming and not accurate at all. Also my friend Freeze, he helped me to do these tests, and also the current osr2mp4 design. So he's actually one of the first people who I told my project to, and he was really hype of it. So that really motivates me to do this. So a huge thanks for him.
It sounds like you didn't have a lot of programming knowledge before you started the project, am I correct?
Yeah, exactly.
So this project that you did was, I assume, the first big project that you were doing for, like, not yourself, but let's say for the OSU community, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
And so when you told your friend about it, did you feel any pressure to get it out as soon as possible? Or did you feel like that you can take your time and just get it right and release it as a good version without a lot of bugs?
I did want to finish this as soon as possible because he's really hyping for it. But at the same time, I know that it's gonna take time. So if I rush, nothing good's gonna happen. So I took my time.
So I guess the biggest challenge that actually occurred when you were trying to make osr2mp4 is basically just learning how to code.
Yeah.
That's actually really impressive. Your first project is something that the community uses a lot, So I think you're on a good way. So if I may ask, how old are you currently?
I'm 17.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of you. If that means anything, your program is really good. It saved me I don't even know how much hours it saved me, because I was making the best of 2020 video, and usually you know that you have to record the replays through the client, and I was gonna cry if I had to do that again this year, because the video was gonna be over 2 hours long, so it actually helped a lot.
I'm really glad that it helped you, because that was my original goal, but right now the current most use case of osr2mp4 is high FPS, which is not really my original goal. So yeah, I'm really glad that you are one of the people that I try to help.
So when we are on the topic of high FPS, how do you feel about your program being used for high FPS? Do you feel like the huge popularity of the program because of that is making you feel weird when you want to implement new features that don't include high FPS? Or do you think that's also a good thing that you also have that feature?
I don't like it at all. Well, that's a joke, but because my original goal was to help people with bad PC, so let me accomplish that goal, damn it. But yeah, it was really unexpected. I didn't expect this much demands for high FPS.
Mm-hmm.
Like right after the release, a few people actually asked me about osr2mp4 not working properly on high FPS. And yeah, by the way, one of those people was Felipe, who is an admin in the server, who helped me a ton, and I really appreciate that. Back to the story. So when people told me that, I was like, okay, cool, but who cares? It's not like a lot of people going to do high FPS plays anyway. So I was wrong. At first, people tried to record 480 FPS, and then 960 FPS, and then 2000 FPS, and now some fucking dumbass is trying to render 50,000 FPS, and more and more people are asking for these high FPS stuff. So I had to fix a lot of high FPS problem. Yeah, what a bunch of nerds.
So, from what I get, it wasn't really the original goal, as we know, but you don't exactly like hate it that it's being used for that. But that's not what you created it for. You don't really want to focus on it.
Yeah, at first I didn't want to focus on high FPS, but since a lot of people are requesting it, so I had to.
You had to like fix issues related to that.
Yeah, fix. Yeah.
So, in basic terms, how would you explain the works of osr2mp4? How does it actually render the replays? Because I saw when I was doing my renders, it opens several like, let's say, invisible windows of Python, but I can't really see what it does in the background. So how would you explain it to someone who can't code like me? What does your program do?
So first of all, you select the replay file, and then it search automatically for the bitmaps. And then, in the replay file, it contains the cursor information, so the cursor position, the key presses, so you can actually simulate it in the background, and then osr2mp4 just draws the circle and then check if the player has missed or whatever he did, and then it draws circles, sliders, hit results in an image, and then it writes it to the video.
Aha. So I saw that it's using FFmpeg, which is one of the, I guess you could say, main ways to create a video through programming. Do you think that you made a good choice by using FFmpeg? Or now that you're looking back at it, would you select something else for it?
I'm not sure if there was something else. I think that was not the only choice.
Mm-hmm.
There was no any other options. Like OpenCV is basically using FFmpeg inside it, so yeah.
One of the last things that I really wanted to ask you, there are some inaccuracies when it comes to the accuracy of the plays and score and like just leaderboards in general because of the score inaccuracies. So can you explain what's the actual issue behind that, and how would we be able to solve it in the easiest way possible? Because up until a recent update, there were also like ghost misses, I guess, if you can call it that, when it just misses when it's not supposed to. And we spoke in your server, and you mentioned, I think it was either you or Philip, that it's because of also being closed source, so you're not able to actually emulate it one for one. You have to like somehow figure out how it works. So what would be the best way to solve that issue? Do you think that we should collaborate with you and let you see the internals of the current stable client, or how would you fix that?
So first of all, the accuracy problem is due to it's mostly due to the slider n, and honestly, I have never understood how slider n judgment works. The only thing that I know is that the slider n is checked 36 milliseconds before the actual end of the slider. And the problem is that, the OSR file contains cursor information every 70 milliseconds average. So, and sometimes the slider end is checked between 2 frames. So if you check the second frame, then it tells you that the player has missed the slider end. But if you use the first frame, it tells you that the player has hit the slider end. So sometimes you have to use the first frame, sometimes you have to use the second frame, and it's really random, and I never figured out how to accurately choose which frame. So yeah, I don't think that even with the source code, I would be able to fix it, because right now how osr2mp4 works is really different from the OSU. So I think that to fix it, we need to rewrite a lot of things from scratch. So it's gonna take a lot of time. So it's not very easy to fix. It's really time consuming, because you also need to test with maps that doesn't work and test with map that has worked before to check if it's still working properly.
If I understood this correctly, it would be the best if we could increase the tick rate of the replays.
That's true. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
if we could make it happen, the increased tick rate on the replays would make you be able to select the correct frame where the player either missed or hit the slider end.
Yes, exactly. It would increase the accuracy of osr2mp4. I'm not saying that it's gonna be 100% correct, but it will increase the accuracy.
And regarding the score issues, would that also fix the issues with the score, or is that something different?
It's a different problem, I guess. I think the score problem is mostly due to the spinner. I don't know. I think it's due to the spinner. I'm just too lazy to fix it. And on maps without spinner, I think the score is more or less close to the actual OSU score.
Yeah, I did notice sometimes in certain replays, when the player spins, the last object of the map is a spinner. It sometimes won't add the score at all.
Yeah, I did a trick, that if the score exceeds the real OSU score, then don't add anything.
So yeah, that makes sense. That's just like a band-aid fix for now.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me, if anyone wanted to get involved with coding this and help you out, how would they be able to do so?
Just read the code. I don't know.
So they would be able to make pull requests and forks on GitHub, yeah?
Yeah. So if they want to, to improve the code or something like that, they can create a pull request, which is a way to contribute in GitHub. And then I just check the code and then I accept their contribution.
I see. So you would have to first fact check the code and see if it's gonna run well, then you're gonna accept it, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Well, most of the time I just read it really fast. I don't really check it really properly. So sometimes it just fucks up the code a bit.
So the last thing before we go, I just want to know how do you feel about the current state of the program? Are you satisfied with how it's working, at least for now? Do you think it's okay?
The current state of osr2mp4 has a shit ton of bugs to fix, a shit ton of features to add. It's missing a lot of OSU stuff, like reverse arrow is not fading out, and it doesn't even look like the real OSU. But this is the first project that I managed to not drop and to release it, so I'm really satisfied with it. I'm pretty happy of how far I managed to get, and I just can never forget the feeling I got when I released it, and then it got 500 votes in just 10 minutes on Reddit. That was so exciting. I didn't even sleep that night, by the way, because people keep reporting bugs to me. So I just spent the whole night to fix those.
So this is really giving you a lot of motivation to keep working on it.
Well, it's true that there are a lot of features to add, a lot of bugs to fix, but honestly, I don't think I can get much farther than this because I'm already happy with my progress. And the problem is that I don't really have much time right now due to school, and I have a lot of in real life stuff that I want to focus on. So osr2mp4 is not my top priority anymore. But yeah, I will try to work on it sometimes and add features that people have been requesting for age.
And if you can give us a sneak peek of one feature that you want to add, what would you sneak peek for us here? What would you say?
I don't know. I have nothing. I have nothing to show right now. But I might add how to pronounce this? A Q, a K.
A Q.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm planning to add a Q, and I think someone sent me their design for the Q. It's pretty sick. I can send it to you.
The high FPS part of your program, is Philip gonna be managing that, or how do you plan? Do you just want him to deal with that issue, or?
Well, high FPS is working right now, so I'm not gonna touch that. It's working normally, so I don't have to fix anything, I think.
Yeah, I think it's fine right now, because going 50,000 FPS, I think that's kind of unnecessary, so yeah, it probably looks like shit.
Yeah, I don't even know why they're trying to render 50,000 FPS. That's just ridiculous. I mean, even 2,000 FPS is really overkill already.
Yeah, I agree with you. I personally, if someone were to ask me, I really don't like the super high FPS stuff, because it's really just like I think it feels useless. It doesn't really add anything. If you do like 120 or even 240, that's like okay, but going above there just feels stupid to me. So I don't know why people keep doing that.
Yeah, don't tell it to those nerds. They won't listen to you.
Alright, so that's all the questions I had for today. If you want to shout anything or anyone out, you can go ahead and do that, and after that we're just gonna wrap it up.
So yeah, I'm gonna shout out for Shiho, my friend. So during the lockdown I had the time I needed to focus on the project, but I knew that after the end of summer I wouldn't be able to work on this, so I had to rush. But I was also pretty lazy to work on the project, so I asked for him to work with me. Well, I didn't really ask him. I basically forced him to help me. But yeah, I really appreciate his efforts. That's it, I guess. I shout out. Yeah, that's it.
All right, so that's it. Thank you everybody for watching. Go download osr2mp4, use it. Not to do high FPS, that's very bad. Do not do that. Just do like replay rendering really quickly and upload it to YouTube for Reddit Karma. That's good. Go for that. Thank you, uyitroa, for coming out and talking to me today.